Hello everyone and welcome to my class. In this video, I'll be starting the third chapter of class 8th history, that is ruling the countryside. In the previous videos, we have covered the first and second chapter of this book, NCERT book, history of class 8th. Right, and in which these chapters we have studied about how from a trading company, East India Company became the rulers of territories in India. Right, so in this chapter we'll be focusing how they expanded their rule in the countryside, how they set up their administration there. Right, so let's start the topic. Company becomes the Diwan. Now here the first statement that is given in the book is on 12th August 1765 the Mughal emperor appointed East India Company as the Diwan of Bengal. Now Diwan of Bengal means Diwani rights means that whosoever gets the Diwani rights, they can levy their own taxes on the territories. Right, they can extract revenue from the people of that territories. Right, so by getting the Diwani rights of Bengal, East India Company became the chief financial administrator of this territory, of this region, Bengal region. Right, they can take decision of imposing taxes, introducing new taxes, how to increase the revenue, their revenue, all these things. Right, side by side, when they were establishing their administration in Bengal, they give importance to, they were carefully doing their planning. Reason being, they cannot afford to take any step which is against the established authorities there with the local authorities, because it was a challenging time for them also. They need to carry on their trade also, and they need to administer the territories one by them. So at that crucial time, they can't take the risk of the local risk from the local authorities. Right, so they carefully planned their administration there. Now initially the company was giving importance to the revenue. It was very important for the East India Company to extract maximum revenue, because they recently became the rulers. But inside they were the traders, they were here for doing trade. So their prime purpose was to extract maximum money or revenue from the Indian people, so that they can carry on their trade smoothly here in India. They can earn maximum profit. Right, so this thing was there in their mind. So initially when they were buying the Indian products, they were buying it from by exchanging gold and silver. So by doing this, they were not earning much profit out of it, because they were investing from their own pocket. So what they have changed their mindset now, they changed their policies now to gain maximum profit. What they have done, they started imposing taxes on the people, and they tried to extract money from Indian people, and using that money to buy goods from India and carry on their trade. सो अपने जेब से वो पैसा नहीं लगाना चाहते थे, ताकि उन्हें फ़ायदा ज़्यादा. Right, so this was the time period when Bengal faced a famine situation. In the year 1770, a terrible famine occurred in Bengal, and in which 1/3 of population of Bengal was killed, and company was ruling, imposing taxes, imposing revenues. So people were not in a condition to pay back that revenue to the company. They were not in a condition. Right, so the company realized that they need to improve the agriculture. But how? They need to improve the agriculture. If the agriculture will expand, if it is good, then only they can extract more revenue. So they introduced the permanent settlement in the year 1793. It was introduced by Lord Cornwallis. The name is not given, but permanent settlement was introduced in the Bengal region. Right, now what was the permanent settlement? A new system of extracting revenue from the Indian people. Right, in which the local rajas, talukdars, they were converting them to zamindars. Their position changed, and these zamindars were expected to collect revenue from the local people and give it to the East India Company. Right? It now the duty was given to them, to the zamindars. Right? And revenue was fixed. Amount was fixed by the East India Company. They will not going to revise it again and again. It was fixed for the future. Right? Whatever the production will be, their amount is fixed. They cannot increase or decrease that amount. So the local rajas and the talukdars, they accepted the terms. And what happened after that, when sometimes they gave the revenue to the East India Company, but they found it very difficult to pay such a huge amount to the company. So in case of a failure, if the zamindar is unable to pay the revenue on time to the East India Company, what happened? Their territories were taken by the East India Company, and their territories were sold in auction. Right? And due to this permanent settlement, many zamindars started losing their territories, their properties. And sometimes they found it very beneficial also, because they were not in a condition to pay such a huge amount to the East India Company. So they lost their territories. And now we'll be discussing about the problems of the permanent settlement. The biggest problem was, initially the company saw this as an opportunity to earn huge profit, since the headache of collecting the revenue was transferred to the zamindars. Now it became their responsibility to collect the revenue from the local people and give it to East India Company, and the revenue amount was fixed, was huge. So they found it very profitable that for collecting revenue, they were not they didn't have to appoint new officers. This task was performed by the zamindars, and smoothly, regularly they will get the amount. Initially it happened, but when the zamindars start failing to pay the revenue on time to the East India Company, then the East India Company, it became a problem for the East India Company, from how to generate the revenue from the territory. Right? The zamindars were not improving the quality of the land. They were least bothered now to improve the quality of the land, because if they improve the productivity, if the land quality improved, then whatever the produce will be, maximum share was taken by the East India Company. So why to invest on improving the land? They rather pass this responsibility to the tenants, land tenants. And many of the zamindars, they lost their properties, their territories due to this. Their properties were sold in auction by the East India Company. Right? Now on other hand, the peasants found the system very oppressive. The farmers, they were frustrated with the system, because a large share of their produce was taken as a tax. So in order to pay the revenue to the zamindars, but they started taking the money from the money lenders. So this led to an emergence of a class of money lenders. And when they failed to pay the money back to the money lenders, what happened? They started evicting the land. They started escaping to the forested region, leaving their lands behind. So these were the problems that arose out of permanent settlement. Right? So this is all about how the East India Company, they started administering the countryside, the local people, and what policies they were employing to extract maximum revenue. In the next video, we'll be discussing about more revenue generating policies of East India Company. So keep on watching these videos. Thank you for watching.